your host, Tait Fletcher. Grateful to be here. And I just want to take a minute to thank all the people that make this possible. Number one being Caveman Coffee. CavemanCoffee.com. Online company that can get delicious single estate, single origin goodness directly to your door. Also, we're one of, I think, 2 companies in existence right now that has MCT that's solely derived from coconuts as opposed to palm oil, which is super important because we care about apes and the environment and having a sustainable product that we can put out at a good price. And so that's kind of the beginning of everything about this company, was how do we create a more sustainable earth and do less harm. And so that's our number one advent into sponsorship. Second being Concrete Cowboy. And throughout Dallas, Houston, Austin, been one of the biggest adventures that I've been on lately has been the formation of that and kind of continuing to put that out there and push the envelope and stay uncomfortable as far as in investing in an entrepreneurial idea. And they're just awesome, man. I couldn't have, thought of it coming out better. My partners there, John Valls, Rico Taylor, Dan Werk, just goddamn fantastic people. And if you're around those areas, please go in, man. Just good vibes and good folks and general overall good attitude and ethic. And it's certainly one of those things that has raised, just like Keith and Lacey are with, Pirate Life and with Caveman Coffee. These guys it's like the people that are surrounding me, man, they raised me up to being so much better than I thought I could have been alone. I also really want to give props to Deuce Gym, man, my home away from home in Venice, California. Logan Galbraith over there, you can read his fantastic blog at deucegym.com. That's DEUCE gym.com. And it's just fraught with, or wrought rather, with inspiration and kindness and really kind of intrinsically contemplative thoughts that, I don't know, it's inspirational, man. I guess people always wonder, like, if I go to a gym that's this modality versus that modality or whatever, why shouldn't I just go to 24-Hour Fitness or Gold's Gym? And my feeling is, man, wherever you have fun, whatever you like doing, you should do that thing. But to be around these gyms where there's a community like there is at my gym at Undisputed Fitness, you can find us at undisputedfitness.com. Deuce, like a lot of these gyms, Brick is a big one. There's gyms all through the country. Jackson's MMA has this real familial kind of feel to it. 10th Planet, always like, that's like home, family, kindness, goodness, that's tempered with a high intellect and a high amount of savagery. And to embody all those in a place, man, it really takes the place of these rites of passage that we're missing in life. And also, the conversations that happen in there, they ripple into my whole life. And so, if you have the opportunity, man, check out any of those places, and there's probably some near you. Hit us up at Caveman Coffee on Twitter or my Tait Fletcher on Instagram, taitimusmaximus on Snapchat. Any of that stuff, I try to be as interactive as I can be with all the fans. And if you need help finding a place, man, chances are that one of us knows a place near you, and we can certainly help you look into that. But you don't really need anybody else. All you need is your gut, and go in, try a few classes out wherever you go. And man, if it's something that turns on a light inside you, stay there, nourish that, man. We've got to nourish our own candles, man. They're flickering in the wind, and there's all kinds of winds that blow that try to put them out. I love you all so much, and I really, really, I hope you enjoy the show, and let's get after it.
A big Tait Fletcher.
Powerful Tait Fletcher.
Is a real alpha male.
Weightlifter.
He's a stuntman.
Movie star.
Robust, enthusiastic individual.
He's huge, by the way. He's like a monster person.
One of the sweetest guys I know.
He's bigger than life.
Actor.
Entrepreneur.
A fighter.
The jiu-jitsu technician.
He's also bald, and he has all these tattoos. He's just a big fucking man.
A man, a myth, a legend.
Tait Fletcher.
Tait Fletcher.
Tait Fletcher.
What's up, Tait Fletcher, you bad motherfucker?
Tait Fletcher. Tait Fletcher is
Tait Fletcher.
Teddy bear. Motherfucking Fletcher, ladies and gentlemen.
That's Tait Fletcher, everybody.
The great Tait Fletcher. Tait the animal Fletcher. Tait the savage Fletcher. Always moving. There's no stillness with Tait Fletcher. You will find no dust.
Tait Fletcher's in the house, ladies and gentlemen. He just said the word erection.
Tait Fletcher.
Tait Fletcher's in the fucking house. Tait Fletcher!
Tait really blasts out some serious, hardcore truth bombs, and I think you're really going to enjoy it.
Welcome. Okay, this is Pirate Life Radio, y'all. This is Tait Fletcher, your host. And these are the Shanghai Chronicles. This is part 1. I've been all over the world in the last couple months here, and this is the first installment of Pirate Life Radio in that time. I sit now in the Waldorf Astoria in Shanghai, China. And I look out my window, and it's gorgeous. You might be in New York City, except that it's so much bigger. It's crazy. It's immense. I got invited at the last CrossFit Games. I was just talking with my friend, and he said, do you want to go to Shanghai? Would you like to go to China with me in October? I'm going to try to talk CrossFit with the Chinese government and different heads of corporations there. And so I said, yeah, of course, I'll go to China. Fuck. So anyway, months later, my friend Jimmy calls me up and he says, Greg wants to know if you're still down to go to China. And I was like, absolutely. So got the visa and all that, and kind of jogging around a couple different film projects. I'm working on this show called Making a Killing right now, which is super cool. This dude, Big Mike from he was in Goodfellas, and then Aida Turturro from The Sopranos plays my wife in it, and I don't know, it's fun. Anyway, I go back on Friday and I film the rest of it. But right now, I just met a couple friends. One guy who grew up in China, who I met, he was 4 days in the U.S. during the games, and I met him at Glassman's suite. And another fella from South Carolina who's here filming. And we're going to go look and tour the Reebok headquarters and do all that. Now, let me tell you about China, a little background. First of all, this last weekend, I had an amazing time. Went on this, I guess it was like a spiritual retreat and like a 2-day meditation, basically, in a communal setting. And it was fantastic, just the unplugging of that. And I kind of wondered, I was nervous about how that's going to segue in, because I did that Thursday night, Friday night, and then Saturday night, I just chilled. I went to saw my mom, but I had to leave at like 3 a.m. on Sunday. So, at any rate, here I am in China. I get off the plane in China after a 16-hour flight, I believe. I watched all the Star Trek that you could. Also a great show. I think it's called 1963, but I'm not really sure. The translations are kind of weird, but it has to do with the Kennedy assassination, going back in time traveling to stop it, which is a really interesting concept, and it's pretty well done. So anyway, I'm just catching up on all the TV and movies that I never would see otherwise. No offense to James Tiberian Kirk, but I'm not really watching the love affair between he and Scotty, or he and Spock, and that triangulation that gets weird and uncomfortable. I'm not watching that all play out. At any rate, I get off the plane, and it's crazy, kind of. You go through customs, and I don't know, it's 20 minutes warming your way through. Big signs, no pictures, no videos, with a Chinese flag behind it, which I've got a great picture of that I'll be posting on my Instagram. But you get through there, no hassles, everything's great, and walk out. And when you walk out, it's kind of like walking out in Vegas, where there's just people with signs, everybody's trying to sell you a taxi. Now, whenever I get off a plane and somebody's like, hey, we got a taxi over here, I'm always thinking, you're about to rob me, which is a weird thing. My spidey sense just goes up, and I'm on guard, and I'm like, you're way too eager to give me a ride, and I don't know what's going on exactly, but I'm uncomfortable. So anyway, there's the fourth guy, they really kind of push themselves on you. I mean, I bet these guys, they're like the best date rapers in the world. They talk about guys that just won't say no for an answer, regardless of the country. So these guys speak English enough to say, hey, you, sir, and get your attention. So anyway, they try to take me out through, and I'm kind of blissed out from the ride and from my weekend, and I'm really kind of grounded and calm, but the excitement, the excitability of people, I just, I found myself very detracted from. I was removed from that energy, and I wasn't, connecting with fervor with this guy, and he was wanting me to, clearly wanting to take me to the parking garage, and I just was like, I'm good, thank you, and I go out. At any rate, I go out to a long row of taxis through a completely different door. He was trying to shuttle me through the parking garage or something. I don't know if that's that's their Uber style. But anyway, I go downstairs to a long cab line, and it's just like Vegas too. It's like waiting for a cab in Vegas. Except when you walk outside, the ever-present smell of cigarettes is so strong. It's like powerful. And I don't see anybody smoking, but there's a couple hundred people outside waiting in line. But then there, as I look closer, because I start hunting for cigarettes, I'm like, this smell is crazy. But just the air in China, it's different, man. It smells different. I'm reticent to call it pollution or whatever. I'm not sure. I guess that's probably what it is. I get in I remember in Colombia too. In Colombia, the petrol the cars would run on, it burned less cleanly, and you could taste that in the air. You didn't want to drive on the highway with your windows down because you'd get smogged out. It was really horrible. So maybe that has something to do with it. I'm not sure. But I get in this cab. He doesn't speak any English. I don't speak any Chinese. And we make our way to the Mandarin. No, wait. Where am I? Waldorf Astoria on the Bund, B-U-N-D. You can look up Waldorf Astoria Bund in Shanghai. It's fucking gorgeous. It's like you're in a castle or something. I've never been anywhere this nice. Like, it's amazing. And it's like, I think it's only a few $100 a night, which is crazy. It's a proper 5-star hotel. But anyway, before I get there, it's like an hour drive from the airport. I drive west and north mainly, and it's a long drive, but parts of it, I'm driving through cities where there's proper like skyscrapers and stuff, but there's no lights on. Like, I got in at like 4 in the afternoon. I left at, 6 a.m. that Sunday morning. I got in at 4 o'clock the next day. You go over the time, the space-time continuum, where you lose a day or gain a day, depending how you travel. And there's no lights on in these buildings. It's almost like a dead city. And I thought, well, how respectful they are of resources and time and energy, because there's no, they turn all the lights off when they leave work. And I was like, wait a minute, it's like 4 o'clock. Anyway, I keep going on, and I don't know if they're brand new buildings, but it's crazy. It's almost like a mock-up of a city or something. I'm not really sure. I've got to ask somebody what I drove by. And all of it looks like a normal city anywhere else. I don't know what I'm expecting to see when I go into communist China, but it's very almost familiar. About every quarter mile on the highway, there's about maybe 10 or 15 cameras set up on every overpass where there's signs directing which way the road goes to where and all that. And they're blinking all the time. The flashes are continually going off. And what my friend told me, who owns a couple of CrossFit gyms in China, and he's also he used to be a police officer. He's a fascinating guy. I'm going to try to get him on the podcast. He told me that they do it to check the flow of traffic, to see what they need to work on the roads, how much wear and tear the roads can take. And then also they'll take pictures of the drivers and the license plates, just as kind of do data retrieval to get a large metric of like who's going where, and just in case. And a lot of these big companies and big corporations and big countries, they'll just collect data and figure out what to do with it later, it seems like. And it seems like perhaps there's not a concerted effort to do something with it, but they'd rather have it and not need it than need it and not have it, kind of the way I feel about my pistol, which I don't have in China. But I do have a nice Spyderco knife, just in case. Traveling to China, you bring a lot of snacks too. I brought coconut butter. I brought Mark Sisson's Primal Kitchen, protein powder, a bunch of salted nuts, my ZMA, my Alpha Brain from Onnit. I brought my Natural Stacks prebiotics, and some smart caffeine from Natural Stacks, my DHEA. That's about it. But pretty important to have the supplies you need, I think, when you travel, especially when you're not sure what's on the other side. I also brought a bunch of snacks for the plane. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. My friend Mary from Paleo Chef loaded up the fat fudge for me, so I've got a bunch of fat fudge and books and a script, and I traveled pretty light, and I'll go down and meet Glassman and Jimmy and the boys in the next little bit here, but I just wanted to download a bunch of information before I got too crazy off into the stratosphere today again. I don't know whether to wear shorts. I'm sitting buck naked in my hotel room right now on a beautiful leather chair, and it seems very decadent, and love it a little bit. They have one of those horrible Nespresso machines. Speaking of which, what we have at Caveman Coffee is the new K-Cups. One of the only companies, I think maybe the only, or there's maybe a couple that have completely compostable in a short time K-Cups for Caveman Coffee. So go on the site, you freaks, and get some. And Australia, I don't know if you've seen it, Australia, but if you go to cavemancoffeeco.com or .au or however you do your thing, I think it's .au. Is it .com and then .au, or is it cavemancoffeeco.au? I don't know. I'm going to have to look, and I can't do it now because I don't have the internet. I'm also without communication for a while because everybody got me so freaked out about spyware and about the government looking at you, and like there is no internet the way we see it. It's like completely owned and monitored by the government, and they'll go in and erase emails, or they'll do whatever. They're like, you're theirs when you're here. There's a sense of that, but also I feel like there's a lot of hysteria about nothing. I feel like we beat up China a lot as being this different country and being bad, and we're the great white democracy. And I don't know. I don't know that it's that way really. I think if you grow up in communist China, you're just like, yeah, this is the country. Like nobody. It doesn't seem like there's mad oppression. I don't. Anyway, more will be revealed, I suppose. What else? I'm driving to the hotel. There's inlets. I mean, there's this. I'm almost on like a peninsula. There's water around. It's gorgeous. Beautiful city. I drove through proper slums. Slums are slums wherever you go, whether I'm in the favelas or whether I'm in Detroit. Low income housing, and like it's interesting where the world is set up, how there's people that regardless of the city or the climate financially where you are, there's a huge part of the population that needs to do poorly in order for other people to do well. And it seems like a fucking crazy universal construct that happens everywhere, which is a bigger idea that I'm going to get into this morning. So then I get to the outside of this hotel, which seems like, am I in Monaco? Am I in like where? It's crazy. There's a big inlet on one side, and then it's almost like Vegas if Vegas weren't cheesy and tawdry and kind of cheap. It's like real majestic palace type buildings, and then also there's some gaudy, like I don't know if they're gaudy, but big skyscrapers with flashing lights that I can only guess would be casinos or something across the river or across this inlet. I pull up outside this, what I can only describe as a palace. It's like beige and white. If you go to Waldorf Astoria on the Bund, you'll see pictures of it and go, holy Christ. I get out, the guy helps me with my bag, he rolls that in. They always take the roller bag, not the one I'm carrying. I can roll it too. You want to carry the heavy one? Anyway, we walk in, and we must walk. I mean, it's all marble inside, all marble, big, huge glass chandeliers everywhere, huge cave-like expanses, velvet chairs, paint, the artwork. I mean, it's all amazing. And we walk probably 300 or 400 yards into the heart, into the belly of this beast of a building. And you walk by restaurants and stores and saloons, and it's all like out of another time and era and sense of quality. It's amazing. And then towards the end of it is another bar where a bunch of people are drinking and having cigars, and then there's the reception area. I go there and I check in, and then two guys take me up to my hotel room, one carrying the bag, the other kind of translating. He clearly has the better job because he speaks English. And I walk in, and the floor is all marble up until this beautiful kind of ornate carpeted area, and it's crazy. A bidet bathroom, like the toilet, the seat comes up like it. Everything is like you're greeted by lights, by whatever. It's all infrared scan. Like you walk by it and you trigger the lights. You walk up near the toilet, which is in another room. The seat comes up, a light goes on, and the seat's warmed up for it. It's crazy, opulent. And I'm gonna go down and meet Jimmy and Greg and have a little breakfast and see where all this goes. And I wish I had more for you, but that's just a little piece. And now I'm gonna try to get this up within the next week or something, but I'm hoping to get a few inspirational talks here. Maybe Greg will grace us with his presence and give me a rundown. I don't know how much of this is like proprietary information or whatever, that CrossFit's coming to China, but I did warn them. I go, listen, I talk a lot and I'm going to do a podcast. And they're like, yeah, awesome. So anyway, I love you guys, and I hope all's been well, and I hope that you're exploring your consciousness, your mind, your goodness with others. I hope you're exploring the nature of God and divinity and spirit. And also, I hope that you're exploring your old ideas and seeing what's true and what's not. We're in the middle of this real strife. And there's such racial strife in the country. There's people that are so obtuse and removed, I suppose. They don't even believe that there's racism here. It's like a weird construct where the haves are angry at the have-nots for just not having. It's weird, man. And then you got this whole Trump and Hillary thing. People, whenever I post one thing that's oppositional to the other, they're like, oh, and so you like the way she kills people, or oh, well, he's better than, like, or she's better than, like, oh, yeah. If you guys are rooting on a side in this fight, you are too dumb to talk to, and please stay off the internet. I can see why you're there arguing on the internet all day, because you don't have a job or do anything worthwhile if you're on a side in this team. Like, it's ridiculous. And it just makes me think and become more emboldened in the idea that there's a greater thing going on than we are present to, and this is a weird comedy show that we're right in the middle of. There's like a huge magic trick being played, and it's just silliness. And so I'm personally trying to transcend all that and work towards the goodness of man and the kindness of others, and working towards that. And that does not mean that I will not blast a dumb motherfucker right in his mouth if he's fucking rude, mean, arrogant, violent towards me or my people. However, there is something greater going on than all this fuckery that is afoot. Please be attuned to that. Rise above. All my love, Pirate Life family, and we will talk soon.